On a very old rock that shows up on maps as early as 1191, near the town of Poppi, in the province of Arezzo, stands the Castle of Conti Guidi. Guests of the castle include Dante Alighieri and Taddeo Gaddi, a disciple of Giotto. Now, the bottom floor houses a historical museum commemorating the 1289 Battle of Campaldino between the Guelphs, Florentines, and Ghibellines of Arezzo. The basement, however, is where the building's most intriguing features lie. It was here that hundreds of innocent people perished in violent storms, and it is also where the story of the beautiful but vicious Matelda is said to have originated. Legends about infected castles often have strong female protagonists who are either wicked, adulterous, or defiant. This is likely due to the fact that many of these tales originate from a time when the church had a greater impact on society, leading many to believe that women were inherently bad and to blame for men's problems. Now we may return to our quest to learn the story of this beautiful but deadly lady whose spectre lingers in her home even after she has done her part to stop the suffering and death she caused. Countess Guidi's wife, Matelda, was the most influential man in Poppi's court. Legend has it that the beauty of this woman roused the fury of the Guidi family, who ruled the region at the time, as many sought her out. Everyone in the Casentino region talked about her, even if she had nothing to do with it. The castle gentleman was a strict and cruel man, known across Tuscany for punishing anyone who dared to look up at her bride cruelly, but everyone dreamed of having her. There were a lot of people who wanted to see what the seniorships were up to in the castle because of the woman's hidden beauty. In fact, some people even hired hostages just to spy on Matelda and relay that information to the Spassiments. The guy was compelled to depart and abstain from the castle for weeks due to several political and military obligations. It was the perfect moment to make your way to the castle and attempt to win over the stunning Castellana. In contrast, the stunning Matelda began to feel like a caged bird after enduring the first days of isolation. Her father orchestrated her marriage to a guy who was much older than she was and, in the opinion of many, was downright unattractive. Even though she did not love him, she found that spending so much time alone at the castle was more punishing than being in his presence. She started dating men at a young age and had a string of shrewd affairs. He hired minstrels to liven up his evenings, knights to keep her apprised of what was happening at the borders of her possessions, messengers to deliver letters to her husband, tailors to make her the most exquisite garments, and merchants and craftsmen to give her the best of everything she wanted. This was Matelda's way of coping with the lack of a castle lord on multiple occasions. However, there was still an issue. Gossip about Mr. Poppi's mistress would have ended not only their wealthy marriage, but also her own life, so she couldn't let it spread around the village, no matter how much she loved those passionate evenings of love. It was simple for her to figure out how to escape the guys who were still captivated by her after their passionate night together. The plan was the same every time. First thing in the morning, she would urge her boyfriend to leave the castle by a subterranean corridor, claiming it was a hidden escape. The actual destination of the path was a shadowy tunnel, beset with obstacles adorned with jagged spikes and swords. Every guy who was rewarded with the body of the lovely Matelda lost his own falling down a deep hole and stayed impaled at the bottom. The stickers were very high, and not even the most nimble lover could escape that horrible trap. Tragically, the number of disappearances in that region spiked to the point that the Castellana could no longer be ignored. The people of Poppi resolved to attack the castle when the final young man failed to come home. They captured Matelda when they lowered the door while Mr. Poppi was out with his men. Angry crowds dragged the Castellana to the tower's top and walled it alive, leaving the few remaining soldiers with no choice than to surrender. The days of lovely Matelda came to a close just like that. Many still hold the belief that his spirit has not yet rested and is lost somewhere in the halls and chambers of Poppy's castle. From the window of the Poppy Castle, several inhabitants assert that they saw the most stunning lady in the Casentino, shrouded in white with an enduringly attractive countenance. Some have even gone so far as to say that, while at the museum, they experience a buzzing sensation on the neck that makes them shiver with both cold and pleasure, as well as hear a soft, suggestive voice. Is the stunning Matelda still on the hunt for a brief encounter with a stunning young man?